The free $20,000 MLB 10 Runs for Free Cash contest is now live at SBRforum.com. What is the contest? It's simple. Each day in a designated SBR Forum post, you pick one team that you think will score 10 or more runs that day. You qualify to win $100 that day if you are correct. Each day the game continues, you pick another team. And every time your team scores 10 runs, you'll be adding onto your total score. The contest is split into 3 segments, and at the end of each segment, the top scorers split $2,500. And at the conclusion of the contest, there's even more cash up for grabs, in total over $20,000. And I know what you're thinking. You can just pick the Yankees every day and win. No, you can only pick the same team once per week. Check out the link in the description for more info and see you in the SBR Forum for the contest.
Folks, welcome into sportsbookreview.com. It is Monday, and it's time to talk some Major League Baseball. Hopefully your weekend was profitable, but I have to say on Friday night, you got to be kidding me on this one play. I went 2-2 in my 4-pack because the Minnesota Twins scored 4 runs in the first inning and didn't score again in an extra inning game. Come on, Twins. Hey, how about the Twins scoring 4 runs again here in the first inning alone versus the Yankees here this afternoon? But welcome into the Major League Baseball show. I'm Donnie Seymour along with Jason Radowitz and Kyle Purviance. We are the sportsbookreview.com Major League Baseball team. Jason, how was your weekend watching the Mets in the Subway Series?
Yeah, that was lots of fun, and gave out a lot of MLB value plays via SBR. Probably most of you guys probably just went and you looked at and watched football and didn't really care for those plays. But we got some W's there, so that was fun. Also did well in the NFL on the side with my betting there. But yeah, it was lots of fun, great weekend, and just starting to do some more renovations to the house. So just a lot of work to get done.
There you go. A lot of work to get done here. Kyle, looks like Kyle's rested and ready. He's expecting to maybe booze it up, lose some money in Vegas. Here he is on a Monday.
Yeah, things didn't go quite as expected. It's been an interesting few days to say the least, but that's how the universe unfolds, right? That if life was predictable, it wouldn't be so fun, right? So yeah, we're doing great. Thank you, Richard. Please get drunk every Friday from now on. I'll do my best. Thank you so much for that. Ready to talk some baseball. But overall, it was a decent weekend. The Vikings hurt me, of course. We'll talk about that more on the football show. Packers a little bit, but fading Andy Dalton, got some props. Overall, it was a pretty even weekend for me. I can't complain too much.
Yep, we'll sway Kyle over to that team totals only, even in the NFL as well, pretty shortly here. But it is what it is. But welcome in once again to the show here. Guys, by the way, 88,500 subscribers. I know it's football season. We are kicking that number higher and higher. Thank you guys for coming in here to the chat boxes and supporting all the shows we do at sportsbookreview.com. 2 things here. Still have the MLB contest going on. You did see Lee Martin explain that to you. And also the Pick 6 contest, which I started off nice. But I said, if I go 500 just picking sides, I will be happy. What did I do opening weekend? 3-3 picking sides. So I am right on par for the rest of the season here in that contest. But also, if you guys want to get in that $50,000 up for grabs, $1,600 in weekly prizes. If you need any help there, hit the links whenever they pop up on the show. You see right below, sbrpicks.com/MLB. That'll take you to the MLB page. Also, you'll see the contest page. You can click on that, enter into it, and get in on some of that cash. But we do have some early afternoon Major League Baseball to talk about. The Yankees lost last night. Looks like they're still hungover, down 4-0 early from the Twins. But the pitcher has already been knocked out of the game for the Twins here, Jason. Are we expecting some runs here the rest of the way? Looks like it.
Yeah, I would think so. And, obviously last night, the Yankees game against the Mets, and it was a late night loss there, really kind of emotional loss there for the Yankees. And then now they got to go back at 2:00 and play again on their home field, a little bit of travel from Citi Field to Yankee Stadium. So, to be quite frank, if you're betting on the Yankees in this spot, I mean, I don't know what to tell you, like they didn't get any sleep. And obviously, after an emotional loss, I would never be betting on the Yankees in this spot, even if they look a little bit better. But Gil on the mound, in his last 2 games, 7.79 xFIP, walking 28.2% of the batters. So, that's just brutal. That's something that he's going to have to improve on. He's a great strikeout pitcher, also very erratic and walks a ton of batters as well. So Twins are up early. I don't think that they'll blow the lead. Of course, now the Twins bullpen will have to go the full game. without Gant. That could be better. That could be worse. Obviously, Gant earlier in the season was a walk machine as well. So we'll see. Yeah, I wouldn't bet on the Yankees coming back here.
Yeah, I think we're going to get some runs here throughout the day. But also when you take a look at the Yankees, who just a few weeks ago were scorched earth policy, dominating 13-game win streak, headed to the playoffs, and now almost ready for them to be looking in the rearview mirror saying, are we even going to get to the playoffs? Early afternoon action here in the Bronx. If we update the lines here, 13.5 is a total. Also looking at the Minnesota Twins here at -3.5 if you're looking at the run line at this point, and a money line of -350 in this spot. Keep in mind, long way to go, still in the top of the second inning. Heel hasn't been pitched very well at all today. The Yankees Yankees team total in the game is 5. If we take a look at the Twins, it's listed as 8. Early afternoon action, Kyle, on a Monday.
Oof. I mean, yeah, going in early, like Jason touched on, these guys were up super late last night, emotional loss. So I was leaning Twins coming in, and I wanted to make sure not to bash John Gant too much. I didn't even bash him, and dude gets physically bashed and is knocked out of the game. So that's kind of funny here. But now, I mean, with all those numbers you just gave out, you're not touching anything here unless you say, okay, maybe the Yankees wake up. Now we're getting this Twins bullpen, which isn't very good. Getting a nice number on the Yankees now. If you want to risk it for the biscuit, and scared money don't make money, and throw a little bit on the plus money on the Yankees here, you're getting a much better number than you got before the game. But of course, that's very, very risky. Me personally, I'd stay the hell away from this game. Maybe the Yankees continue doing what they've done all season long. Don't score runs early, and you can get a depressed team total late in the game. I think we've figured out that's the best way to bet the Yankees this year, right?
Yeah, typically. Wait until the 5th inning when they have no runs on the board, and you can certainly heat that bad boy up. Let's get to the main card today. Short card here on a Monday. Of course, we have the Monday Night Football game as well, so there's some good betting opportunities all throughout the afternoon and the night here. 961, 962, Tampa Bay and Toronto. Listed here, I have McHugh versus Manoah. 140s offshore opening up for Toronto at a -140. That's now down to -126 here in New Jersey at FanDuel. 154 down to 136 with a total of 9 across the board. I do think that Tampa Bay can hit Manoah, stack some left-handers. So I do have a wager on this game, 3.5 at -150, sitting at BetMGM. I think they can get the 4 runs in this one. No matter what happens in this ball game, I'm going to get a full 9 at-bats. No reason to believe for myself that I can't pick up some of these hits and some runs and get the 4 runs here in this game, Jason. What are you thinking here between these two?
So it looks like McHugh will get the start, and he's been, lights out for the entire season. But then it looks like Yarbrough will actually get the bulk of the game. And, Yarbrough obviously hasn't been too great. That's why they're going to have McHugh start, because he's been excellent in those spots, and just on the entire season, he's been really good. So Yarbrough, in his last 30 days, a 5.77 xFIP, striking out just 9.5% of batters. The ground balls are low. The line drives are high. The hard contact, not too bad, but he's been pretty bad against lefties. For a lefty in the last 30 days, and in the lineup, there's a lot of righties in the lineup for the Blue Jays. So interesting there. He's been a little bit better against righties as of late, but he's also faced a lot more righties and lefties as well. But it's really, the strikeouts are low. So again, if the Blue Jays can put the ball in play, they should be able to do plenty of damage. They're not hitting that many ground balls, and also their line drive contact is about 22%, which really isn't too bad. So if they put the ball in play, good things should happen there. Then, of course, Manoah, 6.48 xFIP in his last 30 days, hasn't been nearly as good as he was to start the season. 14.1% strikeout percentage, walking nearly 11% of batters. Awful against lefties, and we know how the Rays roll. They usually put in a ton of lefties against righties. So I do like the Rays here. I think the Blue Jays can score as well against Yarbrough, so I would go with the over in this game.
Yeah, I'm interested in this because you're right, Manoah, with that 6.48 xFIP over the second half of the Major League Baseball season, an xFIP minus of 109, so about 10% higher than the league average. A Sierra number 4.57. But the matchups that I like in this, Kyle, low lefty, Meadows, Choi, Wendell, Kiermaier, and Walls, all designed or estimated to be starters tonight. They're all lefties. Reason I bring that up, 6 of those, obviously, of course, of the 9 batters will come from the left-hand side. Manoah struggling here over the past 30 days with lefties. 39 batters he's faced, a 477 weighted on base percentage, and a 323 ISO power number. I think they could do some damage here and get some hits. Any thought? But then again, Toronto is streaking, and do you step in front of the bus?
This is a scary game, right? And you're right. It seems like the grind of this late season is starting to get to Manoah. He does have good stuff. He's a talented young kid, but he's really sort of fallen off the cliff over the last 30 days here. So I agree. I like that Rays team total quite a bit. I don't even mind the 4.5 at -110. And for me, look, Toronto's been streaking. Obviously, Jason touched on it beautifully. Yarbrough is terrible. They're hoping McHugh can, get him through an inning or two, get through the top of that order, then maybe ease Yarbrough in at the end of that lineup there. But I'm looking at the Rays money line in the first 5 innings at plus 110. So we know we're going to get McHugh. It's going to get through a couple innings, hopefully successfully for the Rays, especially if you're backing the Rays. Certainly has the arm talent to do that. And then you bring in Yarbrough. So I think anytime I'm getting a plus number on the Rays, they're just such a good baseball team. It's scary to bet against them. I like the 4 runs at minus 150, the 5 runs that they'd have to get to for minus 110, absolutely live. And for me, if I'm getting plus money on the Rays, plus 110 on the money line the first 5 innings, I'm all over that as well. The lineup does profile beautifully. And look, it doesn't profile horribly for Toronto either. I think Guerrero gets a home run tonight. He's on my home run list. We'll talk about that a little later in a different category. Marcus Semien, 11 for 36 lifetime off of McHugh. So there's some guys who could do some damage early. Even Jake Lamb, why the hell is he in the lineup? 4-13 lifetime with a home run off of McHugh. So that's kind of interesting here. I can understand betting both sides. This is a tough game, 2 good teams, but I'm getting plus money on the Rays. I'll take it, and I do expect them to get to 5 runs tonight.
Yeah, it should be an interesting one to follow. And again, these playoff implications that we're coming up on here. Toronto Blue Jays, if the season ended today, they would be in the playoffs along with the Red Sox and the Yankees on the opposite end of that fence. We'll see if they can climb up and maybe do some damage. But today, down 4-0. That's certainly not a good start here. Let's keep moving down the list as we go. St. Louis and the New York Mets. Rotation 953 and 954. Wainwright and Hill. 2 old-ass pitchers to be nice on the mound today. Pinnacle opened up at a minus 117. All Shore is a favorite toward the Mets. Roughly a pick 'em now across the board. 8 as well. And I got another 3.5 out of here. Some light juice on St. Louis's team total over 3.5 at minus 125. I'm digging on today, Jason. Your Mets in play with the Padres sinking like a rock. Could the Mets find themselves back in the playoff race with another dub tonight?
Oh, no.
Yeah. You know I had to talk about Lindor last night because I've been taking the heat for it all year. I've been backing my boy Lindor, and here we go. Finally, back to his career average. Looks really good, and I guess had his really big Mets moment for his first season last night, which was extremely fun. I wanted to go to bed a little bit earlier, but of course I had to watch that game. Just glad they finished it before the extra innings. But Lindor, my guy, he's back, and the Mets are a lot better offensively. They have the most runs in the National League in September as well. So the offense starting to figure it out just a little bit, kind of what we expected. Really all the the entire season. It just never happened until maybe a little too late now, but it happened, and that's been really fun. And the Mets right now, like I said, they've been hitting the ball really well. They have a 247 ISO right now with their projected lineup against righties, and also a weighted on-base average of 367. So they look really good. They're hitting the ball very well outside of Jeff McNeil in that lineup. But then, like Donnie touched up on, the Cardinals offense, they have a lot of power as well. Paul Goldschmidt, 783 ISO against lefties. Tyler O'Neill, 556. Arenado, 333. So, that stacked right there. Goldschmidt, O'Neill, Arenado, that could be big time for like DraftKings or FanDuel type of deal with those stacks right there against Hill. So, yeah, I think we see some runs in this game. Again, the Mets have been really hot offensively. And, again, Hill has been a lot better recently, but I do think that those 3 guys in the lineup for the Cardinals can definitely do damage against Hill in this game. So, probably get the over in this one.
Yeah, take a look at a Rich Hill here. Second half of the Major League Baseball season. XFIP minus number to 116. ERA not too bad, 3.97. Sierra number at 4.50. But it's always about matchups, right? So you have the lefty on the mound, Kyle Hill, going up against lefties over the past 30 days. He's dominated them, but a little bit leaky against right-handed batters. And that's what we're going to get. All 8 batters from the right-hand side tonight for St. Louis. Any looks or thoughts from you, St. Louis and the New York Mets tonight?
Yeah, I think the over 7.5 makes a ton of sense here. Now, both pitchers, Rich Hill has actually been sort of decent against St. Louis in his last 3 starts, 30 fantasy points or more. But then when you shift it over and look at the Cardinals lineup and how they project when you use a 3-year sample size here, every single hitter is in the green. Paul Goldschmidt in 20 plate appearances, 10 hits, 2 home runs. Arenado in 8 appearances off Rich Hill. He also has a home run. Yadier Molina struggled a little bit, but everyone else has a really nice number here. So I do think that Cardinals team total is live. I think you're looking at that Mets total at 3.5. They've been red hot, right? And by the way, you're welcome, Mets fans. We know what happens when I bash somebody, right? John Gant had the start of his life after I bashed him. We almost got a no-hit. Who was the guy that almost got a no-hitter earlier this year? Well, I think he went no hits for 6 innings or something. I can't remember who the hell it was. but it was a terrible pitcher, and he had the outing of a lifetime. So you're welcome for bashing Lindor for months, and it's finally paid off. And my PayPal is somewhere on my Twitter. You guys can just tip me right over there. But Wainwright, as good as he has been against the Mets in his last 4 starts, has not been very good. Here's his fantasy totals: 3, 9, 5, and 23. That is not ace material here. I think both teams' team totals are absolutely live. It's a little bit scary for me to take a side on this one, but I like the over 7.5, and I think both teams get to 4+ runs in this one. So I'd be betting team totals and the over in this one.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think it's a low number, but I think there's some opportunities for both of these offenses to score some runs. Again, you're looking at 8, so it's not like a 10.5 or an 11 spot. I think they'll be able to get there. The only difference is you have that playoff atmosphere, so maybe they take it a notch lower, but we'll see. But the game did get over late last night, but it was in New York. Same thing for the Yankees. Yankees are playing earlier, but would they drive home 10 miles to the stadium? Same thing with the New York Mets. They played late last night, but they are home and not having to go on the road. Let's get down to San Diego and San Francisco. Battle in the NL West. 955, 956. That's Darvish for Leone on the mound. 8 as a total, roughly a pick 'em in the favor for the San Francisco Giants. And the sinking to the bottom of the ocean has started for the Padres as they got swept by the Dodgers. They have a lot more games against the Dodgers and the Giants. They will not be a factor here down the stretch. So it's going to be up to one of these teams, the Reds, the Phillies, the Mets, to certainly catch, or St. Louis Cardinals, to be in that second spot, because it will not be occupied by the San Diego Padres. And if I'm just looking at this game once again, Darvish the better pitcher, sure. I'm going San Francisco at the light number all day long, Jason.
So look, Dominic Leone probably goes maybe 2 innings at most. So this is more of a bullpen game for the Giants, just trying to get their starters back and being healthy. But it's funny because on the season, he has a 1.48 ERA. He's pitched over 45 innings, or about 45 innings this season for the Giants, and a 1.48 ERA. Now you go and you look at his last 30 days, and you're a 7 xFIP, striking out 15.1% of the batters, walking 11.3% of the batters. So, things look horrible when you look at his numbers. But then again, he's only going to go 1 or 2 innings, and he has an ERA of 1.48. So you kind of just roll with that ERA and say, yeah, he can get me through innings 1 and 2, like really any pitcher can do against this Padres offense right now. Then fine. Then you go to the bullpen, a really good bullpen for the Giants, and you get by. Darvish, again, has been really good, 3.91 xFIP in his last 30 days. Also, strikeouts high, walks are low. So probably get a good outing from Darvish as well. The offense for the Giants, a lot better than the Padres. Is it a harder matchup for the Giants? Of course it is. But I think the Giants obviously has the, a team with 90+ wins. They're the better team. They should be able to get the job done when it's all said and done.
I agree the same thing. San Francisco's pedigree just sticking out. They are going toe-to-toe. Nobody wants to be in that spot where I won 100 games and I'm going to actually be in a 1-game playoff for my life. So both of these teams fighting between the Dodgers and San Francisco Giants. But we've talked about this for weeks coming up here on the San Diego Padres and what's going to happen to them after September 10th. Started their first 3 games, got swept out. And I don't know. I don't think they're going to get swept every series. They're a pretty good baseball team. But when you have to constantly, it's like going in the NFL. Oh, by the way, you got to play the Chiefs the next 15 straight weeks. Good luck on making the playoffs. So that's what I feel like, Kyle, in this instance. Giants and the Padres here.
Yeah, it's sort of crazy, right? Like most of the time you see a pitching advantage like this. I mean, Darvish is exponentially better than, mediocre Leone, and then it's a bullpen game. And you're like, oh, I'm getting plus money and minus 0.5 in the first 5 innings. It just makes tons of sense. But that just shows you how bad it has been for the Padres and how good the Giants are at home. And they can hit anybody here. Now, I will say this. Darvish was really, really good in his last start against the Giants, put up 62 fantasy points. The game before that, a 40. So he has had some success. It's a low-weighted 634 3-year OPS, exponentially lower than what you're getting Dominic Leone, which is one of the higher on the card. But again, he's a smaller sample size guy. He's not going to throw a lot of innings. So, look, Padres fans, Padres backers, I get taking the plus money with such a pitching advantage. But when I'm getting a light number on the Giants at home, we've been saying it all year. We're going to continue to say it. It's hard to fade the Giants right now. Hard to trust the Padres. So I'm with you guys. I will lean the Giants here.
You know what's interesting about this, too? The Giants started on that September 10th when everything just gets crazy out of whack for them. And it looks
Something
like
happened.
Yeah, Buxton just hit a homer.
Yeah, Buxton just hit a solo shot, 5-0 here. But also, getting back to the San Diego point, they were 9 games above 500 before this ridiculous schedule started. If I ask both of you right now, they still sit 6 games above 500. There is a legitimate chance that the Padres had a very good season and will be under 500 when it's all said and done. That will be outrageous. So, Jason, I'll ask you first. 6 games above 500 here. Let me read you the schedule here coming up after getting swept. 4 against the Giants on the road, 3 on the road against St. Louis, another 3 at home against San Francisco, 3 at home against Atlanta, 3 on the road against Los Angeles, 3 on the road against San Francisco. I'm telling you right now, Padres will be under 500. What are your thoughts, Jason, on that, if that's even possible at this point?
You know, it was funny because in the first half of the season, we were saying, oh, the Padres, they kind of played to their level of competition, right? We kept thinking, okay, they're going to be able to beat the Dodgers because they just played better against the Dodgers. And they had series where they looked really good in the first half of the season. But now you go to the second half of the season, it's, you know, times have changed, right? They have not looked nearly as good against these, you know, powerhouse teams. And this division it's so tough, right? With the Giants and the Dodgers. So then, like you said, there's the Braves that they're probably going to win their division. So yeah, it's going to be tough. Obviously, hoping for the Padres to lose and get out of that wild card spot, especially for Donnie and I rooting for our Phillies and Mets, since we're 3 games or lower out of that wild card spot. So seeing the Padres kind of falter is big, and we'll accept that anytime.
Yeah, Kyle. I mean, taking a look at it down the stretch, I mean, look, the same way I joke about the Phillies. You have no business making the playoffs when you have a bullpen game, and then you have Matt Moore going out to the mound, you know, 2 of your pitching starts. I still see estimated in the lineup in 2 days, not today, tomorrow, Jake Arrieta will be on the mound. And then, of course, St. Louis, his next time comes up to rate, Jake Arrieta will be on the mound. When you are fighting for a playoff spot and you have a game where you just throw the game away, like they should just call it Major League Baseball. We want to save our bullpen. We are going to skip the start with this pitcher and take the loss and come back tomorrow. That's what it feels like, Kyle.
Yeah, I completely agree. And it's kind of, I think it's kind of sad because the Padres are a fun team with a ton of talent. And you'd love to see Tatis in the playoffs, of course.
Yep.
But that rotation has just fallen apart, all your injuries, et cetera. I mean, they were throwing out Ryan Weathers. Even he can't stay healthy now. Now, Jake Arrieta, you can't have a Jake Arrieta starting on a playoff team. It's just bad. Now, I would like that because, you know, handicapping playoff baseball games is very, very tough. But the one time it's easy is when Jake Arrieta is on the mound, right? So that's kind of a breather for us when that happens. But, yeah, I mean, when you read off that schedule, it is hard to imagine them not finishing below 500, which is going to be a shame for baseball. They are a fun team. They spent a ton of money. In the offseason, they know they're going to have to work on that rotation and hopefully stay healthy. Their bullpen's been good, too. Everything signifies that they should be in the postseason. It's a shame they're not going to be, and that's a brutal schedule down the stretch. I think they finish under 500.
Yeah, I hear you on that. Donnie got the Eagles now, so he's off the Phillies. Trust me, the Phillies had a 2-game lead, and I stated on this show repeatedly, Atlanta's going to win this division. And it looks like that's going to be the case here. Nice play by Joey Gallo in the outfield. Who cares, right? 5-0 in that ball game. Now, let's get to some value menu wagers. Let's see if we can sort of tip everybody off. I got a 3-pack today, so I'm going to give 2 of them out right now since you already covered these games already. Tampa Bay's team total 3.5 at -150 at BetMGM. And then the St. Louis Cardinals 3.5 at -125. Don't need a lot of runs in these games here per se. Just give me 4 in each one of these. We'll be able to take it down. Also have one more play coming up, which I'll give in the next round of wagers. Jason, your value, where is it at today on your card?
Yeah, so I got 2 value plays. Unfortunately, I don't have a play of the day with such a short slate, but I'll do the Donnie. I'll just give one now, and I'll give one.
There you go. You're learning.
Yeah, exactly. I'm learning. So I guess the first one we'll go with. Let's go with the Astros over 2.5 in the first 5, -120 here. Spencer Howard on the mound. Obviously, we're very familiar with him. A 6.21 ERA, 0-3 on the season with a WHIP of 1.46. In the last 30 days, a 4.92 xFIP. Ground ball rate is also low, and we can expect him to go 3 innings like always, as we always joke about on the show. And then you get that Rangers bullpen for the final couple of innings in the first 5 innings here. So yeah, the Astros, if you look at their lineup, they haven't been great when it comes to power. 140 ISO, and that's one of the reasons why it's not an official play. But if you look at their other stats, the ground ball rate, 33.7% against righties. That's really, really low. They're keeping the ball off the infield grass. And then you go and look at their line drive rate. They're hitting nearly 25% of line drives against righties as well in the last 30 days. So those 2 things, coupled with they're not striking out very often at 17.2%. I think they should be able to get 3 runs in this game against Howard and that Texas bullpen when the time comes. So I'm going to take that over 2.5 in the first 5 on the team total there for the Astros. I know some people had the Astros over 5 in the full game, and I obviously agree with that one as well.
All right, Kyle, where is your value on the card today for a Monday Major League Baseball action?
I'm going to go back to the Houston, Texas game as well. And look, it's just a fade of Spencer Howard. I mean, plain and simple. Now, they have Odorizzi on the mound, and Odorizzi is certainly hittable here. We like to call him Odorific. But I don't know if there's many pitchers in baseball we wouldn't take over Spencer Howard. I expect the Astros to score early here. You're getting I think, with a Spencer Howard start and the Houston Astros, minus 0.5 in the first 5 innings at minus 125, I think is a nice number. I expect the Astros to score early, as Jason talked about. Odorizzi, is he going to give up a run or two? Oh, absolutely, most likely he will. But I just expect this Astros lineup, which is exponentially better. Hopefully Michael Brantley is able to get in the lineup tonight. I know he's dealing with the knee issue. Especially if he's in the lineup, I like it a lot more. But Astros in the first 5 innings, just a fade of Spencer Howard for me. They should be able to out-duel Texas early on, and we know Texas is just playing dead. They're the possum laying upside down. They don't care about what's going on. I like the Astros here in the first 5 innings.
All right, the odds boosted section. I've lost a couple straight on this one. Looking to bounce back today, which I am, but I actually see Jefferson Cisse Donnie triples at Oracle tonight, which made me scramble around because I thought I might have missed one of my favorite props here, a triple that's going to happen at Oracle tonight, but I don't see that under any odds boost. So I'm going to settle into one of the more comfortable ones that I always think has a legitimate chance, and that's for 3 really good hitters to get at least 1 base hit a piece tonight. That's at plus 275 at Fox Bet. Those 3 batters tonight: Altuve, Lindor, and also Bo Bichette. So I need one of those, or excuse me, all 3 of those guys to get at least 1 base hit apiece to take down that 275. I think there's a legitimate chance of doing that, Jason. Odds boost today that you have.
So I found on William Hill, the Red Sox to win by 4 or more runs at plus 325. They're going up against the Mariners, against Logan Gilbert. And Logan Gilbert, before his last 2 starts against the Astros, he looked pretty good. 2 runs on 10 hits and 9.1 innings pitched. But before that, to the Royals allowed 5 runs in 4 innings. Houston, 9 runs in 4.2 innings. 5 runs to Toronto in 4 innings. So this is a guy that's kind of struggled, in the second half of the season. Still has a 5.10 ERA and a lot of line drive contact out of this Red Sox lineup against righties. Some power, some good weighted on base averages. They're not striking out all that much, and they're walking at a high rate. So with Eduardo Rodriguez on the mound here against the Mariners, I think that the Red Sox get the job done. Now, keep in mind, like the Mariners, sure, they're still fighting for the American League wild card spot, but their run differential is really, really bad. It's like minus 50, and they still have they're still 10 games above 500. So basically, the games that they lose they're really bad losses, and the games that they win obviously are really close. So we'll go with those. We'll get the Red Sox to win by 4 or more runs, and we'll cash this plus 325 ticket.
That was a long odds boost description here, Kyle. Hopefully you can match that. What do you got?
And you know what? I missed a lot of it too. I was like, damn, are we still on odds boost? What the hell's going on here? Are we thinking?
I was like, what section am I in right now?
I'm going to make mine short and sweet. I think Vladimir Guerrero is on the path to 50 home runs. You can get an odds boost on DraftKings from plus 275 to plus 350. I like how he profiles against McHugh early. Of course, Yarbrough later in the game. The guy's live for a home run every night. So if you're going to get that extra 75 cents, why not take it on a short card where there's not a ton of options? I'll go Vladimir Guerrero with an 11% 3-year advantage, by the way, I have on my 3-year weighted stats here. Vladimir Guerrero, home run, plus 350, DraftKings.
All right, there we go. Let's get to some best bets on the Major League Baseball board. I got a 3-pack today, weighted all the same, so don't load up on one or the other. Play them all 3. I think I expect to go at least a 2-1 profitable night tonight. And I'm going to go with the Boston Red Sox team total. That also over 3.5 at minus 135 BetMGM. Over the last 30 days, Gilbert, a 4.82 xFIP number. Look, lefties, 369 weighted on base percentage. Righties, 418, all the way up and down the list. You should have good batters back from the COVID list here in the lineup for Boston. I expect them to do some damage tonight. Late night, if you're not watching the NFL game, I don't know what the hell you're doing. But again, as it gets to the point, I don't know why you'd be watching Seattle late at night when you got some good NFL football on, but I will have a wager, so I'll be tuned in as well. Jason, what are you looking at today for yourself here? Best bets, bankers, whatever you got here.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I like the Red Sox over 2 in the first 5. The team total at minus 120. And one of the reasons why I gave you guys a long spiel on that odds boost is because, this is one of my plays as well as the value play, the Red Sox over 2 first 5 team total. So I guess I already gave you guys why I like the Red Sox, why they should be able to score at least 3 runs in the first 5. Get that 2. You get insurance at minus 120. So that is one of the other value plays for me.
There you go. By the way, Jaden Dance says, DFS, why not stay in Vegas for the game? And here's my favorite part about the entire weekend. So it's Sunday. I wake up early anyway, capping all my games here. I'm like, I wonder what shape Kyle's going to be in by the time we get to the show. So pops on, Esteban calls, or I log in and Esteban's in the background. And I look over and I see Kyle's got the SBR banner in the background. Yeah. I said, son of a bitch, this guy is dedicated. He actually remembered to put his banner in and take it to Las Vegas with him. So I'm sitting there, Yep, and no, you gave it away. God, I was going to say. The second thing I looked in the background was his chair is back there. I said, no way in hell he brought his goddamn chair to Vegas. And that's why I realized that he was not there at that point and saying, oh my goodness. But the dedication I thought was coming from Kyle saying, this man will have to be taking people's jobs here, Kyle. Go ahead with your best bet in your banker here and also the Vegas experience.
Yeah, from dedication to shame. Sometimes just weird things happen. You can't explain it. And then you misbehave a little bit. I don't know. It was just the weekend did not go as expected. But, everything's fine. I'm still here. Donnie's camera's still flashing a little bit, which I love to see.
No, it isn't.
When I swear it just did it on the thing. No. I swear I just did it. I hope it did it anyways, damn it. Best bet maker.
I like it. That's good job.
I'm also on the Red Sox here, and I'm getting plus money minus 0.5 in the first 5. It's actually moved. It was plus 110 earlier. Now it's plus 115. Look, you got Rodriguez versus Gilbert. Now, Rodriguez has had some shaky starts over the last 30 days, including his last start. He's also been very, very solid in a couple of starts. His last 2 starts against Seattle, 46 in each game. And for me, like you guys, it's a fade of Logan Gilbert. Not really high on this guy. He's been really, really bad recently. It's the highest weighted 3-year OPS on the card at 869. I think the Red Sox score early and often. I like their team total over 4 at minus 130. And I love that plus money in the first 5 innings. I expect him to score early and often. I think Rodriguez can get through the Seattle lineup late tonight. So I'm going to take the Red Sox minus 0.5 in the first 5 at plus 115.
I love it, man. The dedication, man. This guy is on it, man. He looks like he wasn't drinking that much. He's in it to win it here. Impressive stuff out there by Kyle. But let's get to the odds. Lightning round on the board. Whip it around. Miami and Washington. Alcantara on the board. On the mound versus Espino. 7.5 across the board. Roughly a pick 'em here. What am I missing here? Give me Miami in this game, Jason.
Yeah, I like the under 4 in the first 5 innings. If you can get 4.5 and pay up for the juice, that's fun too. Espino, 3.77 xFIP in his last 30 days. Alcantara obviously has been incredible, 2.36 xFIP. So both pitchers have been really good. Both offenses have not been that great. For the Nationals, Soto and Bell are the 2 guys that have done well against righties, but kind of hard against a guy like Sandy Alcantara. And then also Espino going up against a lineup of the Marlins that maybe Chisholm has some power, maybe Sanchez has some power. Eddie Alvarez, this is a guy that played in the Olympics. So he wasn't even on a major league roster earlier this year. So not much to like in either of these offenses. I think the under is a great play. And, I think there's a lot of ground balls that can come out of that Marlins lineup. So, yeah, I think the under. I don't know who's going to win. I guess Donnie likes the Marlins more. So maybe go there. But, yeah, I like the under a lot in this game.
All right, Houston and Texas, Odorizzi versus Howard. I know, Kyle, you have a wager on this game. 9s across the board, minus 190 is heavy favorite. I don't know how. Spencer Howard, what's he going, 2.5, 2 1/3 innings here?
Yeah, exactly. And then you're going to get that Rangers bullpen as well, right? So for me, it's all about the Astros here. Now, sometimes it's tough to trust this Astros lineup, and I will certainly be happier about it if Michael Brantley is in the lineup here. But I like the Astros in the first 5 innings. You're getting a nice number on that at minus 125. I don't mind the Astros team total over 5 either. I think they can certainly get there. Astros are bust for me. Complete fade of Spencer Howard. If you're making a bet and holding the bag and Spencer Howard's your pitcher, it's going to be a long, long night. I'm going Astros here.
All right, welcome back. Clayton Kershaw going up against Zach Gallen, Arizona, basically on vacation with L.A. this weekend. Minus 280s to minus 295s across the board. 8s as a total in this one. Hey, we'll see what we get out of Kershaw, how long he goes, but certainly a heavy favorite here is warranted, Jason, between these 2 ball clubs and pitchers.
Yeah, it's exciting to see Kershaw back. Obviously, the Dodgers, had some interesting pitchers going here and there. We talked a lot about, most of the time we'd be on the show and we wouldn't know the Dodgers pitchers. So good to see Kershaw back. But I should say that the Diamondbacks have looked good against lefties recently. 205 ISO. 370 weighted OBA. Marte, Kelly, Peralta, Ramos, and Young all have really good numbers against lefties now. Obviously, Kershaw's not your average lefty, but he is coming back from the injured list and hasn't pitched in quite some time. So there's room, maybe to get Kershaw there if you're Arizona. And then you look at the Dodgers lineup, they don't have much power going against righties. Really, Muncy, the only guy with lots of power when it comes to the last 30 days with a 333 ISO. The rest in the lineup, Bellinger, Lux, Turner, all really low ISO numbers. Same with Betts against righties as well. So I'm not so sure I like that minus 300 there for the Dodgers. I think the Diamondbacks are an interesting play, at least in the first 5. I don't know if they'll be able to pull it out in the full game, but I think the Diamondbacks can at least score 2 runs maybe in the first 5 innings. And if Gallen can keep the game close, they might be able to win the first 5. And it's a big underdog play there in the first 5 innings.
All right, Boston and Seattle here, 965, 966, 10-10 tonight. I do like the Boston Red Sox to get that 4-run number. Again, 9 at-bats no matter what happens here with Seattle. I think they can touch Gilbert up. 8s across the board. Slight favorite here for Boston, and this is a playoff atmosphere tonight in this ballgame. Seattle looking to close the door. Boston looking to stay in that last wildcard spot here, Kyle.
Yeah, and I just like Boston in this spot. I love how they profile against Gilbert. Like I said, you're getting plus money on the run line in the first 5 innings at minus 0.5 at plus 115. I like their team total as well. Anytime I can take advantage of those power bats from the left-hand side for the Red Sox, I'm all for it. Schwarber, Devers, etc. I like the Red Sox here. I like their team total. I like them in the first 5 innings. I know Rodriguez can be shaky, but I think he can hold the Seattle lineup off just enough. And again, it's the highest weighted 3-year OPS here for Boston. All numbers dictated. I don't mind the home run props for Kyle Schwarber or Rafael Devers either. Red Sox are bust for me tonight. I think they light up Gilbert.
All right. How about that on a Monday? Close to 300 people watching here on a football Monday. I love it, man. Love that, all that support that you guys give us here. Thank you so much for that. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Also watching, subscribing, getting after it, because we got a lot more things to do here on sportsbookreview.com today, namely an NFL show that's coming up in roughly 45 minutes. But before we get out of here and clear the bases, we always like to let you guys know what we're digging on and our plays that we have in action today. 3.5s across the board for me at BetMGM. What is that? Tampa Bay's team total 3.5, the St. Louis Cardinals team total 3.5, and the Boston Red Sox at 3.5. Also on Fox Bet, here my odds boost: Altuve, Lindor, and Bichette to each get 1 hit a piece or more. That's boosted up to plus 275. Jason, what do you got today?
Yeah, so I'm going to be on the Red Sox over 2 in the first 5 on the team total at minus 120 as a value play. Also the Red Sox to win 4 or more runs, boosted to plus 325 on William Hill as the odds boost. And the last value play, the Astros over 2.5 in the first 5 on the team total at minus 120 as well.
Kyle, what do you got today?
Well, I got minus 500 that I continue my walk of shame through the Monday show. So there you go. That will be continuing here shortly. I love myself some Astros, minus 0.5 in the first 5 at minus 125. That's on the value menu. My favorite play of the day is the Red Sox at plus money, minus 0.5 in the first 5 at plus 115. Odds boost, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. boosted from 275 to 350 to hit a home run. That's over at DraftKings. I was very tempted to add that Mets team total over 3.5. I do think they get there tonight against Wainwright. Maybe that jinxes them a little bit if I don't make it totally official, but say I like them just so I can jinx those Mets. Actually, I don't mind if they make the playoffs. Now, I guess I don't know what the hell I think about the Mets anymore. I don't know. My home run props tonight, that game's already started. Kyle Schwarber, Mookie Betts, Juan Soto, Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
There we go. Thank you guys for tuning in on a Monday Major League Baseball show. Got some special guests also coming up on the NFL show, so certainly stay tuned for that. But thanks again. We'll be back tomorrow on a Tuesday talking Major League Baseball. I'm Donnie Seymour for Jason Radowitz and Kyle Purviance. We are the sportsbookreview.com Major League Baseball team. And as always, good luck on those wagers.